Hello everyone, welcome to class 10th. Today I am taking the chapter 1 of Geography, Resources and Development. So firstly in this chapter I would like to explain you the meaning of the resources. So what are resources? Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs provided, they are called resources. And resources are technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. So it can be termed as resource. Like in our daily life, we are using the resources like water and in the form of breathing air and any food items. So mainly the resources is that which can be used to satisfy our daily needs. These are called resources, right? So I'm explaining you the in the detail. There is a diagram is given. With the help of this diagram we can understand this topic. There is a diagram. It is interdependent relationship between nature, technology and institutions. So in the mid of this diagram human beings is given. Like human being is firstly interact with the physical environment like nature, and after that with the help of technology he can develop the items, develop the resources, and after that the third process has been gone to institutions. So it is the relationship between the nature, technology and institutions. Okay. After that, the process of transformation of things available in our environment involves an interdependent relationship between this. Human beings interact with nature through technology and then create institutions to accelerate their economic development. So, these resources can be classified in the following ways. There is a chart is given. Resources are of two types. First is natural and second is human. In the natural, it is of two types. First is renewable resources and second one is non-renewable resources. So what are renewable resources? So renewable resources are the resources which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical or mechanical processes are known as renewable resources. For example, solar and wind energy, water, forests and wildlife, etc. And one more thing, that the renewable resource may further be divided into continuous or flow. Like water is a continuous resource, right? Like if we can assume the river can flows continuously in any area, right? And air is also continuous. So I just mean to say that the resources which can be recycled in the natural way and with the help of physical, chemical or mechanical processes, these are called renewable resources. Second one is non-renewable resources. These occur over a very long geological time. Minerals and fossil fuels are examples of such resources. So, non-renewable resources are the resources which cannot be recycled, which are like finished. Like if we are using the bike and if you can see around your surroundings that if we can use the petrol, so after some time when we cover the distance the petrol will be finished because it is non-renewable resource, so we cannot use it again. So these are called non-renewable resources. Some of the resources like fossil fuels cannot be recycled and get exhausted with their use. As you can see in the table, biological category. In biological, there are the two types are given. Natural vegetation, which come in forests, and second one is wildlife. And second type is human. So in human, there are the two types are given: structure and institutions, and second one is quantity and quality. Because human can create the structure with the help of resources, and after that they can create the institutions also, and in that category they can reproduce the resources like in the form of quantity and quality. And after that The next topic is these resources can classify in following ways on the basis of origin. First is biotic and second is abiotic. So I am explaining you what is biotic. So biotic resources are obtained from biosphere and have a life, such as human beings, plants, animals, fisheries, livestock, etc. So biotic resources have life, right? They are like living things. These are called biotic resources. And abiotic resources are those things which are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. For example, rocks, mountains and metals. These are abiotic resources. Next is on the basis of exhaustibility. So on the basis of exhaustibility, there are the two types which I have explained you. So renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources which can be renewed or reproduced, and the non-renewable resources which cannot be renewed, like which cannot be recycled, right? Third step is on the basis of ownership. So on the basis of ownership, there are the four types: individual resources, community owned resources, national resources and international resources. So firstly, I am explaining you the individual resources. Individual resources are the resources. These are also owned privately by individuals. Many farmers own land which is allotted to them by government against the payment of revenue. So what is individual resource? Like our house, our car and our farms, these are called individual resources which can be taken only one person or one family. Like plantation, pasture lands, ponds, water in wells are some of the examples of the resource ownership by individuals. Second is community owned resources. Community owned resources are resources which are accessible to all the members of the community or groups, like village commons, grazing grounds, burial grounds, village ponds, public parks, picnic spots, playgrounds in urban areas. These are accessible to all the people living there. Like, for example, I am giving the example also. uh, i- if you have a park nearby your home, so you can go anytime to the park and all the members of the society can go anytime in the park because it is community owned resource, right? So anyone can use this resource. Next one is national resources. All the resources belong to the nation. The country has legal powers to acquire even private property for public good. Like you might have seen roads, stations, canals, railways being constructed on fields owned by some individuals. Urban development authorities get empowered by the government to acquire land. So the resources like which are connected to the national properties, these are called national resources. Like the political boundaries and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles from the coast termed as territorial water and resources therein because it belong to the nation. Next one is international resources. So there are the international institutions which regulate some resources like the oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean and no individual country can utilize without the concurrence of international institutions. So I am explaining you what is the meaning of nautical miles. It is the unit which is used to measure the distance of oceanic area, oceans, right? It is the unit of measuring the oceans. So the area which is comes under all the countries in on the level of internationally, it is called exclusive economic zone, and no individual country can utilize this without the permission of international institutions. So these are called international resources. Next one is on the basis of the status of development. On the basis of the status of development, there are the four types of resources: potential resources, developed resources, stock and reserves. Potential resources are the resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized, right? Like, for example, the western parts of India, particularly Rajasthan and Gujarat, have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy, but so far these have not been developed properly, right, which we utilize at that time. These are called potential resources. Like in Rajasthan, there are the lots of like solar energy, but we cannot use the whole solar energy, right, at that time. So these are called potential resources. Second is developed resources. Resources which are surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined for utilization. The development of resources depends on technology and level of their feasibility. So developed resources are the resources which are surveyed by the communities or internationally or nationally, quality and quantity, and are determined for utilization also. And the development of these resources depends on the technology and their level, right. Third is stock. Materials in our environment which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access these are included among the stock, right. For example, water. So, water is a compound of two gases like hydrogen and oxygen. So, hydrogen can be used as a rich source of energy, but we do not have advanced technical know how to use it for this purpose. So, what we can consider? We can consider is as a stock. So, next one is reserves. What are reserves? Reserves are the subset of the stock which can be put into use with the help of existing technical know-how, but their use has not been started. Right? These can be used for meeting the future requirements. Like I am giving the example like river water. We are using the river water to for generating electricity, right? But presently it is being utilized only to a limited extent, right. The water in the dams like forest is a reserves which can be used in the future. All rivers and dams are not used to generate electricity, we can save it for the future. So reserves can be used for meeting the future requirements. So I hope you all understand these topics carefully. So watch this video very carefully to understand all the topics. So for the next interesting topics, we will meet in the next class. Till then, bye bye and take care.